Even Stone Cold Steve Austin could not save Raw this week from drawing its lowest non-holiday TV number in its modern history. This is really significant, and I'm going to tell you why, but also point out a reason for this that is not really being discussed, and it's probably the most obvious reason. Cameron Kelly Smith, Movies and Wrestling. Let's go. Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Cameron Kelly Smith. Be sure to hit that subscribe and notification button to stay tuned on the content I produce each and every week in the world of wrestling and movie related discussions. So this past week, Monday Night Raw and Smackdown Live emulated from the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. I'm excited, man, and I was excited because Madison Square Garden is a historic arena. The crowd is always electric and on fire and nuts, and they did not disappoint. It was two electric nights, at least in terms of crowd reaction. However, Monday Night Raw, obviously the better show of the two this week, without question. Obviously, Stone Cold Steve Austin kicking off Monday Night Raw. However, it was reported in the following days in the Wrestling Observer newsletter by Brian Alvarez that Raw had drew its lowest non-holiday TV rating in record history. And this shocked a lot of us. It was like, wait, Stone Cold Steve Austin was on Raw. It was actually, for a lot of people, a good show. So why did they draw such a low number? And obviously, there's a few obvious reasons which we're aware of. First of all, the return of Monday Night Football, at least for the US market. For someone like myself who lives in the UK and who doesn't watch American football, this didn't really apply to me. But for those in the States, I can understand that, you know, football is a huge thing in America. Huge. And so I can understand Monday Night Football taking away a lot of that key audience demographic that does watch Monday Night Raw, going ahead and watching Monday Night Football. Completely get that. However, you know, there was, with the format this week, it was a case where the first hour drew a good rating, then it dipped off as it usually does, but significantly this time in the second and third hour. Obviously, Monday Night Football being the biggest thing here. However, you know, a lot of us are talking about, well, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin, you know, appeared on the opening segment, so people maybe tuned in and then thought, well, he's not going to be there for the rest of the show. This is it, so I'll tune out, which is also, I think, a reason as well. But I think the big reason, and that's the most obvious reason, is it now a time where we actually do have to ask, has it got to the point where a lot of the audience has just checked out? Because a lot of people are arguing at the moment that the shows have been good recently, and they have. They've been much better, much better. They've been good. Personally, for myself, it's not really been hitting for me. Those are for a few reasons I'll go into in a minute. But is it a possibility that for people like myself who kind of at the moment are just checked out of the product, maybe there's some people that just cannot be saved, quote unquote, at the moment. They cannot be brought back. Maybe they have been so disgruntled and upset with the product and it just hasn't really hit them, that maybe they've just checked out and Stone Cold Steve Austin wasn't enough. Or not to say it wasn't enough, but the rest of the show wasn't enough for them. You know, like, for example, the reason why I wasn't too keen on this week's TV, and the reason why I haven't been too keen in recent weeks, is because the shows just aren't getting me. Now, wrestling is a unique medium. It's a unique form of entertainment. It's part entertainment, part live theater, part live sport. It's a circus. It's got so much, so it's different, and it would be somewhat unfair, I guess, of me to compare it to other shows that I do watch. However, at the same time, I can argue that Monday Night Raw loves to put his, you know, Vince McMahon and WWE love to tout Monday Night Raw as being a weekly episodic television program that competes with all the other episodic TV programs. And for a lot of the shows that I'm watching, for example, at the moment, like Mindhunter, for those of you in the UK, I'm about to start Top Boy, super excited about that. But for shows like Mindhunter that's on TV, whether it be a Better Call Saul or other forms of TV, we have been introduced to this golden era of TV where TV is so damn good and there's so much well-written and amazing stories that are on TV at the moment that sometimes you just have to compare. It's hard, but you do, because it's a show. And when I compare writing like that, which I know some would argue is unfair, to like a Monday Night Raw, it just doesn't hit. You know, there's characters on Monday Night Raw I don't care about. I like the OC and AJ Styles, but I've been given nothing to really care about them. You know, the Viking Raiders have, you know, are hit and miss. The women's division, just isn't hitting for me at the moment. Seth and Braun I enjoy, that I did like. In fact, the women's tag match on this past week's edition of Monday Night Raw was terrific, but there's just things that aren't hitting, and I think that for a lot of people, maybe that just isn't hitting for them, and they've just checked out. It's just hard to save them. Even if the product is good right now, people have checked out already. Obviously, I think the key to this would be WWE need to continue to do what they're doing, because they are doing a good job for a lot of people. I'm in the minority who's not really, it's not hitting for me. I'm enjoying it, don't get me wrong, but it's just not hitting as well as other people are expressing it for them at the moment. But it is for a lot of people. So WWE need to continue to make consistently good TV, and eventually the fans will come and they will tune in. However, just a huge shock. And I can imagine that there might have been some alarm bells backstage. Hopefully not. And hopefully Vince doesn't come in and say, well, crap, we need to change up stuff. Heyman, step aside. I hope it doesn't get to that point. But let's see. Clash of Champions is this Sunday. Expecting a big turnout from fan perspective, obviously. But what I mean is a big turnout in regards to the show. And the fact that I think it will deliver. Majority of WWE pay-per-views usually do. This should be a good night of wrestling, I think. I look forward to see what happens. So let me know what you guys thought of Monday Night Raw this week and SmackDown, and what you thought of the ratings, and what you think maybe could be the reason and what could be the turnaround for them. Thank you for checking out my video, guys. If you liked what you see here, jump down in the comment section below. Give me a big fat thumbs up. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that jazz. Thank you very much for tuning in today, guys. Have a good day.